Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption, but I am now.
Well, this is rather interesting. The governor of Illinois has traveled all the way to New Hampshire to make a speech where he called for mass protest and disruption. I'm going to let the clip speak for itself, and make sure you guys leave your comments down below how you feel about his statements.
Never before in my life have I called for mass protests, for mobilization, for disruption, but I am now. These Republicans cannot know a moment of peace. They have to understand that we will fight their cruelty with every megaphone and microphone that we have. We must castigate them on the soapbox and then punish them at the ballot box.
Okay, so he's calling for mass protest, calling for mobilization, calling for disruption, and specifically only saying these Republicans. So I don't know about you. If you are a Republican or conservative, maybe be on the lookout. That sort of sounds like a threat, but let us continue.
Then you've got JB Pritzker. Throw him into the mix, Mitch, saying that he is calling for more mass protests. Is that surprising coming from him?
I don't really think so, especially since he's doing the speech in New Hampshire, of all places, land of the early primary. But he's right. We do have to have protests. Credit again to Bernie and AOC. They were in red states and drew very big crowds. Pritzker's right. We have to be out there. But again, it has to be a very specific, narrow message on things that affect everyday lives.
Okay, so I was curious, what protests have Democrats been involved with lately? Well, recently there was something known as a sit-in with Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker, where, I'm not kidding, you sit there and you protest. Hey, I'm cool with that if that's going to be the mass protest, where you sit around on some stoops or some stairs. Check out this clip, I promise this is a real video.
You know the song from the beginning. I will build this world from love, yada da da da, yada da da, and you must build this world from love, yada la la la, yada la la, and if we build this world from love, yada da da da, yada da da, then God will build this world from love. Yada lie, 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 yada lie, lie. Let's build the country we deserve.
Now look, I'm not trying to be too cruel here. I am cool. If you want to protest and you're sitting on some stairs, we probably need more of this, some more peaceful protest. But I want to point out, even Hakeem Jeffries is sitting there like, man, what did I sign up for? Because they were there for 12 hours, by the way.
White House has put up about 100 posters of what they say are unauthorized immigrants who have been arrested for violent crimes. You can see them there. They put them up on the driveway of the White House. If you look here, that's the West Wing just at the forefront, the executive mansion itself to the left. But what's particularly noteworthy about this location is it is right directly behind the positions where TV correspondents do their hits from the White House lawn. So therefore, no matter what network you're on, that includes MSNBC, if you're doing a hit from the White House right now, those pictures will be behind you. The White House doing a briefing in about a half hour about what they're doing here.
And speaking of protest, it looks like the Trump administration has figured out a very clever way to protest every single news outlet in the world if you're going to report on the White House or White House policies, because now they have put the faces of illegal immigrants that have been arrested for very violent crimes on the White House lawn, and every single news outlet now has to show it. But the point is, the Trump administration is done with who gets to control the narrative. It looks like now they have some momentum, especially when it comes to the immigration policies.
The registration requirements under 8 U.S.C. 1302. If you're illegal alien in the United States, this message is for you. You cannot hide from ICE. We're actively looking for you. Federal law requires every alien in the United States who has been present in the United States for more than 30 days needs to register. For those 14 years or older, you need to be fingerprinted with the Department of Homeland Security. Federal law requires every alien in the United States to tell DHS in writing if you have a change in address within 10 days of changing that address. Failing to register with DHS and failure to tell DHS about your new address are criminal offenses, and they're going to be treated as such. Starting today. Make no mistake, if you're in the country illegally and you fail to do what the law requires, we will prosecute you, you will go to jail, then we'll deport you.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated, because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers as well as the robbers. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations.
Well, believe it or not, the Trump administration actually took Jasmine Crockett's advice, and here's what happened very recently.
America is safer tonight thanks to Donald Trump. Last night, Brian, what they did, so to back up, during the Biden administration, they received 170 911 calls to that club alone. That club we were just watching, 170 calls. Wouldn't you think that would have been a red flag? Nothing happened. Guns, shootings, ag batteries, nothing happened. So under Donald Trump, DEA, FBI, U.S. Marshals, ATF, ICE, everyone went in together. DEA led this investigation, went in, got 115 illegal immigrants, aliens in our country, arrested them, 2 with warrants, 12 guns seized. So what would happen in this club is you would go in, security would give you a menu of drugs, cocaine, there's something new called pink cocaine, meth, you could go in a bathroom stall, get that, there was prostitution, all these things going on, and we just now identified a member of Sinaloa cartel was also in there.
And if you are expecting a response from Jasmine Crockett or any other Democrats right now on the internet, silence, crickets, almost absolutely nothing.
Got no message. They've got no movement. They've got no leader. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than that. I mean, you're defending Harvard. You're traveling to El Salvador for MS-13 gang members. But here's the point. You're taking $20 million. If I'm looking at someone, my vice chair at the RNC, taking $20 million for another effort, it's $20 million out of the DNC's pocket. You can't be on the board of the Fishing and Forest Company and on Greenpeace at the same time. There are places for groups to hold the party accountable. I think it's right.
Well, yeah, let me push back against that. This was not an MS-13 gang member, and you damn well know that.
Oh, come on.
He was not.
Okay,
and
so keep defending this guy.
The administration admitted this was wrong. In America, we have due process, and we are a land of law and order. We are a land of law and order. And this administration is repeatedly showing time and time again they do not care about what the Supreme Court says. They do not care about the rule of law. And you cannot defend sending people to another country.
Just did a poll
to another country where they don't have
Americans
rights.
Think that
he's
all
denied counsel,
illegal immigrants
due process,
should be deported,
and so much more.
by the way. So you're losing your effort. So if you want to try to defend the constitutionality of deporting a illegal immigrant that's here.
He took a lot of time to come after me.
He's here illegally. The Intel community, every Intel community agency and the White House say he is a member of MS-13.
Hey, Reince. Okay, Reince.
Okay, look, let's be honest. If there's one policy that the Democrats need the Trump administration to fail at, it's the deportation policies, immigration policies, anything that has to do with illegal immigration or immigration. If Trump fails at this and the GOP doesn't do their job, or ICE can't do their job, or Tom Homan, the GOP crumbles and Democrats will win. We just know this because this is what Donald Trump ran on. Overwhelmingly, he has a bunch of support right now. Here's what Tom Homan has to say about the situation, because right now the Trump administration is on overdrive to make sure they are defeating Democrats and the left-leaning narrative, especially if there is an expectation or anticipation of these mass protests.
I've been at this for over 40 years. I worked for 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president ever worked for took border security seriously, because you can't have national security if you don't have strong border security. We got to know who's coming in, what's coming in, where's coming in, why it's coming in, right? Even President Obama and President Clinton took some steps to secure the border because they understood national security was important. Joe Biden was the first president in the history of this nation who came into office and unsecured the border on purpose. That's just a fact. We handed the Biden administration, after President Trump's first administration, we handed the Biden administration the most secure border in my lifetime, and he unsecured it on purpose. Now, President Trump and this administration here, their success is unprecedented. We beat Trump's first administration on border success. Border numbers are historic low. Today, as I'm standing here, we have the most secure border in the history of this nation. And the numbers prove it. President Trump's policies are saving lives every day. There's been studies done that says 31% of women that make that journey through use of cartels get sexually assaulted. When President Trump has illegal immigration down 96%, when 96% less people are coming, how many women aren't being sexually assaulted by the cartels? How many children aren't dying making that journey? How many women and children aren't being sex trafficked into this nation? How many known suspected terrorists aren't making it into this country? How many pounds of fentanyl isn't getting into this country to kill young Americans? How many women and children aren't sex trafficked? Under Joe Biden, sex trafficking is up 600%. We had 4,000 aliens dying making that journey. We had 250,000 Americans dead from fentanyl that came across an open border. President Trump's policy saves lives every day. Even the border wall saves lives.
Well, there we go. Circling back to what JB Pritzker has to say, calling for the mass mobilization of protests and disruptions on Republicans. Yeah, the line has been drawn in the sand, and it looks like the Trump administration, they're not going to move. This is what they're about. They literally posted the faces of illegal immigrants that have been deported, arrested, sent out of the country. So do expect to see more and more protests. Now, this is nothing new. However, you'll notice we're not seeing that many of the Tesla protests anymore. It's like we've moved on. And you may have also noticed we're not seeing so much of Elon Musk and Doge anymore. But what we are seeing are the deportations, the things going on in El Salvador. Democrats really clinging on to these subjects to make sure they're still relevant. Again, I question, why is a governor from Illinois in another state like New Hampshire? Like, is there absolutely nothing going on in Illinois? Anyway, thank you guys for everything. Thank you for being here. God bless, and we'll see you all later.